At an MT training centre, Princess Elizabeth, now a second subaltern in the ATS, has been on a 3-week course of instruction.
A teenage Elizabeth Windsor at the ATS, Auxiliary Territorial Service. Her army number, 230873. But behind that number, this new recruit was heir to the throne.
The princess, who was on the eve of her 19th birthday when these pictures were taken, is at the wheel of a 1,500-weight truck in convoy.
Taking on duties as driver and mechanic, the young Elizabeth had pushed hard, persuading her parents to let her join up.
This is me.
You're on the left there.
On the left.
It was a military journey mirrored by Barbara Wetherill. The same age as Elizabeth, she also forced her parents to let her join the ATS, one of more than 200,000 women who volunteered or were conscripted. So what about the arrival of such a high-profile figure?
The princess wanted to join the army, or wanted to join the services, and her father, like my father, had said no. But she finally persuaded him. Well, then the government stepped in. They decided that it would be a morale booster because we were coming into 6 years of a damned long, hard grind. It was, you know, everybody was tired. We knew the war was coming to a close, but we didn't know just when. And everybody was weary at the beginning of that year. And suddenly, the princess was part of us. I admired her tremendously because she must have realised that she was different. She went in as a second subaltern, with second lieutenant's rank, and all the people surrounding her were of a higher rank, and they would have had to call her Mum.
As she draws up, she finds that the King and Queen with Princess Margaret have come over to see how she's progressing. Changing into overalls, she removes a wheel with her family as spectators.
Elizabeth was different. The young princess did muck in, but security concerns meant she still went home to Windsor Castle every night instead of sleeping in the barracks. Her active role, however, a key part of how the war effort and the royal family were perceived.
I think it did a great deal for the morale. It was in 1945, early 1945 this happened. So to see the heir to the throne doing her bit, serving in uniform, it boosted people's morale. And it also did a lot for the women in the ATS. So it was inspiring for them to see a princess in their ranks.
Fond memories of her own days in the ATS ranks for Barbara, the friends she made and the comrades killed in action, back in what were very different times.
It was a man's world in those days. It just was. And I don't know, you just got on with it. Well, eventually the men accepted us, you know, worked alongside them. And a lot of marriages were a result eventually. And we became part of the regiment, and I'm proud of that.
At the end of the war, it was an Elizabeth in uniform who stepped out onto the Buckingham Palace balcony with her parents and sister, a queen-to-be and already much admired.
I think she is an amazing woman, and I certainly won't see her like again. And no way. You know, she's my heroine, I suppose.
Of her time in the ATS, the Queen once said, "I saw how spirit flourishes in the face of adversity and forges friendships to last a lifetime." Peter Lane, 5 News.